Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I keep getting the question about online dating, so I wanted to hop on here and just share my thoughts on it. Now, first, I will say this: I cannot find it in my heart to trust a man who is doing online dating. 9 out of 10 men is on there for some quick sex, some quick connections, and just to meet women on the fly and to have like a grocery store or a buffet of women. 9 out of 10. It's just not in a man's nature to do that naturally because we are hunters. We like to pursue, we like to work for what we want. So to get online and to have all these women and you can talk to 20, 30 women a day is just not a good look. The other thing is, if a woman is paying for the service like eHarmony, Match.com, it screams desperation to a man. It screams that you're desperate. And yes, he may be paying as well, but he's paying because he's coming to shop. He's coming to get a return on his investment because he knows that if he talks to you for an hour a day for 90 days, then when he tells you that he broke his foot at work and now he's out of work and he's about to get evicted, that you're going to send him $1,500. So if he tells that to 10 women and he dedicates 10 hours of his day to talking to 10 women, now he's made $15,000 and then he rotates you. And so that is the game with online dating, and that is what's happening every second of the day. Every second of the day. And so he is paying that $20 a month, but he's getting $2,000 to $20,000 a month. I just watched this on American Greed. A guy he made like $1.6 million off of women because he was like 6'4", he was ripped, an attractive guy to the ladies, and he was targeting women who were, they were overweight, they were unattractive, they were overlooked, ignored, and they were online dating because they were meeting no one in the real world. And he saw that and he played on their insecurity. And the next thing you know, it's like, I got this business idea, or I got this sickness, or I got, or I'm just so tight. My child's mother is doing this and doing that. And these women were shelling out tens of thousands of dollars. They were giving him their credit cards. They were putting him as an authorized user on their card. And that's just a story that made it to the TV show American Greed, but this is happening every second of the day. So there are men around the world and all throughout America who they make a living by online dating. And because there's so many women and there's so much desperation, you cannot see the guy. Now, sometimes when you can date him online and then you can see him right away, and then you can see the car he drives, you can see where he lives at. That's a rare case, but that kind of makes it a little better in that sense. But at the same time, his house and his cars, his apartment, his car, everything could be paid for by the other women he's dating. So then they say, well, so I'm telling you, 90% of men who are online dating, they have a crazy issue going on in their mind, in their heart. They have ulterior motives, or just something is not right. Then you have that 10%. But when you think about it, 90% of the women who are online dating have pure intentions, because a woman can't necessarily get money from a man because men just don't operate like that unless like a sugar daddy. So you're going to have 10% of the women who they go on there with this, body and showing all this cleavage, and they find men who are, unattractive and so on and so forth, and talk to him, and he's paying all their bills. And so you have women doing it and you have men doing it, but for the most part, it's men doing it because women are more gullible and naive in that sense, because you're operating from your heart instead of your head. Whereas men kind of play the game and know the game, so you're a little more expectant of it. unless a guy is just socially awkward and never dated. So some people say, well, what if the guy is socially awkward? He's an introvert, so he does online dating. What I say to that is that's not a good excuse, because he needs to work on his confidence and his self-esteem to be able to approach a woman in public, ask her for her name and number, and build with her. Because in order to be a husband and a father and lead a household, be the head of a household, you have to have a level of confidence and, just be sure of yourself so you can make decisions and call shots. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be dating. And then they said, what if a guy is too busy and he's like a doctor or he's a lawyer or he's just super busy? If he's super busy, then he shouldn't be dating. That means he doesn't have the time to give to a relationship. And you shouldn't herd humans like cattle. So he shouldn't go to this, buffet of women so he can talk to 50 women a day, instead of going to the grocery store and approaching a woman that he's attracted to at the grocery store or at the gas station or where he works at. He sees women and he meets women. So there are some success stories, but I guarantee you, for every success story, there's 1,000 horror stories. And I coach countless clients over the last 12 years. And I've heard one of my clients got married and was divorced in 3 years. A lot of people, oh, I met my husband. Oh, I met my husband. Well, how long has it been? And do you really know what he's doing? One lady, she always tells me she met her husband online. And I looked at her husband and he looks like a serial killer. He looks like a serial killer and she can't even see it. But I have a gift to where I can look at a person and I can tell their whole life story. I can tell based on how they look, how the world has treated them, because I study people and I do this every day. He looks like a serial killer and I want to tell her, but she probably won't receive it. But he looks like he's going to put $1 million or $2 million life insurance policy on her, take her hiking and elbow her and knock her off the side of the mountain and cash in on her life insurance. That's what he looks like. They're of different races. His race and his look is not attracted to her race and her look. But she does not see it because she went on there desperate for love. And I could tell he is socially awkward. I can tell he's an introvert. But and so it could be the case. They could be the one exception. But listen, it is not worth risking your financial freedom, your safety, your health, your wealth, trying to be the exception. Just get out in the world. Get out of your house. Go to the grocery store. Go to the mall. Go to Starbucks or Barnes & Noble and sit down for 2 hours and get on your laptop and work on your dream. Get out of the house and you will meet men. Men will approach you. Stop going to work and going home and expecting to meet somebody. Create a routine. Create a schedule. But online dating is not the way to go. And understand this, that there is a difference between online dating and meeting someone online. You can date someone you met online, but you should not date someone that you paid a site to meet, and especially not someone you met on a free dating site like, I don't know what it is, Tinder, Bumble, or what all these are hookup sites. And the creators of the site know that they're playing on the insecurity and the desperation of humans. And they're making millions of dollars. And then the people on the site, especially the men, for a lot of women, it's a pure thing because you're built different. But I'm telling you, as a man who is online dating cannot be trusted 90% of the time. There are 10% that may be on there with pure intentions, but guess what? It's 90% of women on there with pure intentions and 10% of men. So it's 90% of y'all going after this 10%, and the numbers just don't match up, and you're going to go through 100 horror stories trying to get to that one good story. Whereas in person, you can read him right away. You can read him from head to toe. You can make sure he's a real person. You can call him on his bluffs. Versus online, and he might be in another country sitting there scamming you for a living. Hey, that's my take on it. Do what you want to do. God bless you. Be safe. We'll talk soon.